Happy Hump Day. Welcome to Let's Talk About Sex for Mosaic. I'm Deborah Shade, sexpert and author, and I want to talk this week about consent. Should always be an enthusiastic yes. If you don't have an enthusiastic yes from someone, then you need to have some more communication with that person to ensure that what you're asking and what you want to receive from this person, they're willing to give to you enthusiastically. As it stands right now, 1 in 5 female college students will be assaulted, and 6.1% of males would experience or participate in or actually carry through a sexual assault. These numbers are ridiculous. And what can we do about it? Educate ourselves. We need to figure out what it is that's causing all of these assaults to continuously happen. And what I want to talk about today is being able to ask you to take a stand and become not just a bystander, but an active participant in shutting down those things that lead up to assault and abuse, those rude statements, the rude handling of another person's body. There's an umbrella of things that fall under consent that we need to be concerned with, and we all have the power to combat if we try. All we have to do is speak up, be brave, and stop it in its tracks. The sad part is that among transgendered and non-conforming individuals, the reporting for assault is non-existent almost, for fear of not having appropriate investigations, a fear of being assaulted some more, a fear of not being believed, the fear of being harassed or ignored by officials, are all reasons why it's harder for transgender and non-conforming individuals to admit to assault and abuse. This information is totally out of control. And in 2019, we should be able to do better. We should be able to be better. And we need to be better for each other. We need to start to stand up for each other and speak up when you see something that you know it's not right. And we know the difference between right and wrong. Right feels great. You want to do it. It's all exciting. Wrong feels the complete opposite. You don't want to be involved in it. It hurts your feelings. It makes you feel really unky on the inside. And these are those emotions that we have to pick up on in other people. When they're giving signs and signals that they're uncomfortable, that something doesn't settle right with them, read those signs and do something about what the scenario is that's happening. So let's talk about bystander intervention. What this basically means is what you can do to put a stop to this abuse. And as a bystander, you can simply say, "Not cool, man." Stop it in its tracks, whatever it is, whether it's a joke, whether it's a statement, whether it's a slur. Stop it in its tracks by simply saying, "Not cool, man." Let them know that it's not just them in the room, and you'll be able to not only stand up for them, but let the bully know that you're not going to tolerate it anymore. You don't have to be super strong or super man or woman in order to be a bystander. You simply just need to have a voice and be brave enough to use it. It is such a fearful scenario when you're watching somebody be bullied or abused or mistreated, and you feel intimidated because you don't want that treatment to reflect back on you. You're looking for that enthusiastic yes. You are basically asking your person whom you're talking to for something specific. Do you want to have sex? Would you like to go to the movies? Would you like me to touch you here? Can I kiss you? Is it okay if we harass each other for 5 minutes? Whatever the question is, asking the question, waiting for the answer, and receiving it for what it is how you get to that enthusiastic yes. If the answer is no, you can't give me a kiss, but you can shake my hand. No, I won't go on a date with you. Whatever the alternative is, let that person's voice be heard. They're telling you no. Accept it as it is. If it's not enthusiastic, it's a no. If they don't jump at the chance to say, "Yes, let's kiss," and lean in for that kiss, you do not have consent, and you need to continue as if you don't have consent. And give that person the power over their own body, over their own wishes, in order to move forward with that person in a much more positive way. Statistically, we accept each other based on how we are treated. So if you were to treat someone as if you're looking for an enthusiastic yes all the time, you're most likely to receive that same respect back. And then we have to consider what happens when there's drugs or alcohol involved. we're still looking for the enthusiastic yes. If you could tell that someone is so intoxicated or under influence of a drug, then it's your job not to move forward with anything sexual. It takes consent. Move forward with having sex with somebody who did not have the ability to give an enthusiastic yes. If the person is slurring in speech, if they're slouched over, if you have to help carry them to the car, this is a scenario for cease, and you shouldn't move forward with anything sexual. Be the good person, get them home safely, and walk away. Furthering a scenario where you may have sex with somebody in this position could lead to abuse because they're unable to give you that enthusiastic consent. And again, that's the key word, enthusiastic. If it's not given to you excitedly and it looks like the person is totally engaged in what you're asking them for, you don't have consent and you shouldn't move forward. When you see someone dragging somebody like this out of the club, say something. Offer to get them home yourself. Offer them an Uber ride. Do something so that the person who is leading them out of the club understands that they're being watched and monitored as well. You want to not be a silent bystander. Speak up for the person who's unable to speak up for themselves. Not all of us can handle our drinking, and not all of us can handle drugs, and some drugs make us not even be parts of ourselves. So it's really hard to figure out what to do or say when you see this kind of thing happening, but it's your job to speak up for that person. It's your job to try to avoid any instances of abuse when you can, and you can definitely put a stop to that. Be the person that says, nope, I won't let you leave the door with this person. Let's get them sobered up first, or let's get them home some other way, versus allowing them to go off with somebody who may not have the great intentions for them. A simple sets of questions could help you figure out whether or not this person's going to be in a safe space with whomever they're leaving with. You could ask the person, do they understand what you're saying? Do they want to go home with this person? You want to ask the person, do they understand their status of mind and their inability to speak up for themselves? And ask if anybody else is able to take them home. Is there any other way to get them home? Offer to have them crash at your house. Do anything so that they're not leaving a space with someone who they can't give an enthusiastic yes to, especially when you know that that possible perpetrator is looking to do something to this person without consent. And it's plausible. This could be your close friend. This could be a family member, somebody you would know, because it's been so unspoken that abuse and assault comes from those people that we know, that it continues over and over again. So even question those whom you know. If it's a house party full of family and someone's leaving with somebody who's totally unable to give consent, speak up. Speak up and let that family member know that it's not okay to proceed with what they're doing. Not accusing anybody of anything. You're just simply taking care of the person who is out of their mind for that present moment. You want to make sure that you are speaking up and helping the scenario flow so that everyone will be safe. You could come up with a ton of examples of things that you could say to get out of certain scenarios. And you ought to have some in your back pocket. Things like, we've already arranged that I'd be her ride home. Things like, it's okay that they don't want to leave with you. I've got them. They'll be okay with me. Inject yourself into the scenario and let the person, the possible perpetrator, know that you can see what's really happening under the lines, and that you know that this person is not in the right mindset to leave a party with any individual that may or may not have their best interests at heart. So simply looking at a scenario and being brave enough to stand up for the individual is all I'm asking you to do. And we have to make sure that we have that enthusiastic yes. So basically what we know for sure is that non-consensual acts are about power and sex. If you feel like you can't do that, then buddy up and tell another friend and address it together. Don't go walking late at night near bushes where someone could grab you in. Ensure that someone knows where you are at all times. Carry your keys as a weapon and be prepared to strike out if necessary. These are things that you can do on your own. These are things that'll help you get out of certain scenarios. If you're in a relationship where someone is controlling you or using power over you to benefit themselves, that's abuse. And so if they're controlling you financially, only giving you a sort of allowance, isolating you from your friends, not allowing you phone calls or text messages, telling you that you can't go places or you can't connect with certain people, these are all signs. So if a friend of yours suddenly drops off of the map or begins to withdraw from your friendship, that's a sign, and follow through on it and ask about that relationship and how strong and healthy it is, and just check in and make sure that the person is okay. The cycle of consent, which includes ask, response, action, ask, response, action, over and over again throughout an entire physical encounter and or experience, is important. Continue to talk to each other during the whole process. Continue to ask if this is okay, if that is okay, and listen. Share this information with your friends and family, and let's try and break the cycle of unreported abuse. If you have any questions, you can send them in to DeborahShade.com or directly into Mosaic. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as Shady on Top, and we'll see you next week.